G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Wednesday, the 25th of August 2021, and the time here is 08:45 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well, folks, plenty to get into. Let's go. Let's do my sponsor first. This is my sponsor, Totally Rawesome, who make golden activated turmeric paste. This stuff at the back here. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. If you have joint inflammation and just generally feel rough, try this stuff, folks. Everybody that I've recommended it to has recommended it to somebody else. That tells you how good it is. I've actually got reports of people coming off some meds because they're trying it. It's natural and homeopathic, and that's what you want. Here's their details. Contact us, info@totallyrawesome.com.au, and there on the left is where you can find them at the markets, local markets. Okay. Unless, and I don't think you guys are, you've been living under a rock or whatever. There's so much crap going on. It's just unbelievable. Cup of tea. Look, this is now entering the realms of bizarro land type stuff, you know. And look, I just want to clarify something with you guys, because some people ask me this about particular Aussies that are out there doing stuff, etc. My history as a person was, when I grew up, was to be kind of ultra violent. Am I now? Okay, first, what does that mean? Well, I used to revel in the fact that I hurt people. It was what I was trained for, and I took great pleasure in it. And I was ruthless as well, which is, if you know anything about people who know how to fight, basically all I did for 4 years was train. That was it. 5 years, actually. I just trained. That was it. I didn't do anything else. I gave up working, and I was just working on nightclub doors 3 nights a week, enough to pay my food, my rent, and have a little bit of spending money. And the rest of the time I trained. That's it. Sometimes 12 hours a day, if you can imagine that. So I actually became pretty lethal. Now, excuse me. And I became, in general, probably an arsehole. But the perspective that I have now as regards to that, can I be that person again? Yeah, totally. Do I want to be that person again? Nah, not really. It all changed when I met my wife, and she said, "You've either got to change or this ain't happening." And then, of course, you get kids, and life, money, bills, etc. Your whole life changes, doesn't it? And it has to change, or you go back to doing whatever you were doing before. And I know blokes who went and did that. It was all too hard. The daily grind was too hard, and they just said, "Oh no, I'm going back to what I used to do," because it was easier. Believe me, it's easier. It's a lot easier if you can put up with the stress of people pulling knives on you, trying to kill you, shoot you, whatever else, then go for it. So people have asked me, in the comments, etc., am I going to protest? No. Am I going to, be violent? Not now, no. If I have to in the future, I will be. And by violent, I mean I will protect my rights and my children's rights and anybody's rights who ask me to protect them, for good reason. You guys know I wear a Bushido cross, which is this thing here. It doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me. And, it comes with some tenets that I have to live by if I'm serious about it. So I do take that very seriously. It's what I train to do, and it's what I do. So there's some other Aussies on YouTube, etc. Yeah, let's go and get them, and go out and march, and it's pointless if you know anything, and I mean anything at all about this system and about the elites. It's pointless. And if you've ever read The Art of War, you would know what I'm talking about. Do nothing until you have to. Lull your opposite into a false sense of security. So basically, go along with everything until the day you go, that's not happening. And then they go, wow, didn't see that coming. Like I've said before, and I can clearly see this happening here in Australia. We're being used as a test pattern for the rest of the world. Ask yourself if you ever thought in Australia you would see borders, blockades, and the army and the police at borders, the army and police marching through the streets looking for people, and the army and the police arresting people. What does that tell you? Now, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. If you think you are going to beat that system right now, you are delusional. I've said this before. It's like China showing up on the coast, disgorging 10,000 troops, and the Aussies going wham, or 100,000 troops. You are going to get flogged. Go away and fight another day that better suits your purpose. I'll say that again. Go away, fight another day that suits your purpose. I'll give you an example, right? This has stuck with me for a long time. When I first started working in England and on the doors and that, I didn't really know that, I came from country, New South Wales, I came from Cairns, went to England, London, working on nightclub doors. There's not too many knives and stuff on the doors in Cairns, let me tell you. And I was talking to a bloke called Peter, and we became pretty good friends over time. And I said, and he was huge, he was a big man. And I said to him, and they were talking in general amongst the group about some guy that got stabbed and got killed recently, a nightclub doorman. And I was all bravado on that, and I said, blah, blah, blah. And Peter said, mate, you know how the best way to beat someone with a knife is? I said, oh, yeah. And I said, you tuck and roll and da 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 da, because I was trained to do that. And he went, no, you run that way. He said, why do you think I'm standing here? He said, I've lost about 5 mates, killed, dead, because they thought that they could take the knife off the guy. They made that decision and they died with that decision. He said, I'm standing here, not because I'm a coward. And he wasn't. He definitely was no coward. He said, but if you got a nutter with a knife and they're going to stab you, they're going to kill you. He said, so run that way. Come back and fight another day. Do you understand? Come back and fight another day. And look, I fully understand all these people are upset about the fact that there's no money, they're losing their jobs, they're losing their mortgages, they're losing everything. But this is not going to stop. Everything that you knew before has changed, and this is not going to stop. You will not see me standing on a border yelling at the cops down here. Why? It's not going to change anything. It might help make you feel a bit better, but it ain't going to change anything. Not now. In the future, yes, but not now. You need to understand that, and you need to know the art of war. And these guys, believe it or not, are using the art of war on you guys. If you're out there on these things, protesting at the border, because what they're doing is they're suckering you guys in, creating this thing. If you read the news, you'll see it. These people are bad. These people are super spreaders. These people are evil. Now, what's going to happen is at one of these rallies somewhere, somebody's going to sadly do some damage to a policeman or a couple of policemen, a police horse, or who knows. But there will be a major escalation of these protests. And someone is either sadly going to get seriously hurt, or a couple, or someone's going to get killed. Now, you need to know the script play that these guys use. And if you're stupid enough and dumb enough to be there, following the script that's written for you, then you deserve everything that's coming to you. Now, everybody said to me, I won't use names, but there's several Aussie people who are standing there telling you to do exactly that. And it's pointless, it's stupid, and it's dumb. Stay at home, stock up, and get ready. That's all you have to do. Because if you seriously think that you can change the direction of this, then you are sadly deluded. They are not going to stop. And if you keep doing what you're doing right now, protesting, etc., you're just falling straight into their plan. Their script. They've got a script. It's written out. Your name is on it. Why don't you understand that? It's very simple. So let's talk about the art of war. So here's Prep, sitting at home, doesn't go to things, does the occasional video. Actually ask people to be clever. Use your head. Understand what they are doing to you. Let them get the injections. But I can tell you this, right? The art of war. So if it comes to December and the government says, we've got 70% vaccinated, 70%. Now, I'm going to ask you to use some basic maths in your head here. Because if you know people that aren't vaccinated, they know people that aren't vaccinated, do you seriously think that 70% of the population is vaccinated against this whatever it is. Sorry, I just stopped the video for a second. So look, there is nothing you can do about what's going on at the moment. If they're telling you they're going to get 70% vaccination, then that's what they're going to do. But I can tell you there's not 70% of the population that's been vaccinated, because I know shitloads of people that haven't been, and they're not going to. Nothing's going to change for them. It's not going to change. And the people are kidding themselves to think that they will. It's just not going to happen. But my point in this is that you just sit back and you let this unfold. Now, for some people, that seems like a radical idea. And they seem to think, excuse me, that you should literally start getting on the front foot as soon as possible to make your voice heard. Yeah, okay, I can kind of agree with that a little bit, but it's not going to change anything at the moment, folks. Nothing. Not one thing. In actual fact, you're just playing into their hands because you're just being dumb. Hard to say, but it's the truth. So sit back, let this unfold, get to the point where you go, no, absolutely not. And that point is coming. And then you start responding and doing stuff. But until that point, there is nothing that you can do. Absolutely nothing. I don't care whether you think you're the best negotiator, the best strongman, the best fighter, everything. There is nothing that you can do that is going to change what is going to happen at this moment. In the future, yes. Now, no. Because you have to let this play out for people to see all the lies that are coming in. And people are waking up. Even general Australians are now starting to say 70% vaccination. That's a lot of people. So just to ask yourself, how's that going to happen? It's not. And I'm not an anti-vax. I'm actually not an anti-vaxxer. If you want to get the vaccine, go for your life. But I ain't putting it in my body. That's just me. Take your time, think about things. I guess that's where this is all going, right? At the moment, take your time, think about where you're going or what you want to achieve. What is your end game? Their end game is total domination. What's your end game? Okay, look, a lot of people have asked me as regards to prepping, how much is enough? My answer to that is, look, if you think you can stay and protect your stuff, good luck to you. That's what I'm trying to do. But realistically, 3 months supply of food, permanent 3 month supply. And that's not easy to do. And the reason I say 3 months is because if you have 3 months, and you'll find this yourself, you can actually store it in boxes. And if you have to take it with you, then you can go. You load it on the trailer and you're gone. And you've got 3 months food supply with you. I watched something yesterday from a prominent Australian person here that was being interviewed, a prepper type person, and he said, I've got 2 years supply of food. And my mind boggled because I just thought, well, that's bloody pointless, because if you've got 2 years of food, A, how are you going to protect it? B, if you have to leave house, then you've left 2 years of food supply for somebody else. Secondly, get some vegetable gardens growing. Get some chickens if you can. Once again, you can transport the chickens with you when you go, if you're clever enough. Even if you just have to take 5, then you've got 5 chickens to take with you. 3 chickens, 1 chicken, who cares? Get some chickens and learn how to grow your own vegetables. And here's something that you probably think, oh, vegetables. Grow the stuff that grows fast and is high in nutrients. Spinach, all the greens, beans, rhubarb, all this type of stuff. Pumpkins. Pumpkins take very little maintenance. They don't get eaten by much. You just throw the seed on the ground and the bloody things grow. Okay? Look for alternative things that grow easy. Tubers, for example. Easy to grow. Not like potatoes. Potatoes are a pain in the ass. There's all these particular types of things. You know, like I wouldn't grow lettuce because one, I hate the stuff, and 2, it's virtually bloody useless, except for feeding to chickens, which is why we're growing some. I'm not going to eat it. We're going to grow some just in case we have to give it to the chickens. There's all these type of things that you have to think about, folks. Okay? So, you know, it's not hard. It really isn't for you to think about these things properly. But listen, don't go down to the borders here in Australia or anywhere else and protest and that. It's pointless. Absolutely pointless at this moment. Because the script is written. You need to understand that. We're not even at the end point yet. We're not even at the middle point yet. We've just started. Get that in your head. We've just started. This is a 600-page book and we're on page 10. Think about that. Get ready, because when you get to page 600 and it says the end, that's when you get motivated. Think about that. You're on a 600-page book, you get to the end and it says the end. That's when you start to get motivated. So you got all of that book to go through first, their book that they've written, that they've scripted, to get to the end. And we've just started. All right, let's do the prayers. Okay, here's the verse of the day. I love the Lord because he has heard my voice and my supplications, because he has inclined his ear to me. Therefore, I will call upon him as long as I live. Wow, pretty good verse, eh? And as always, folks, we'll finish with the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay. I think I've said everything that I need to say. I'll leave it there. God bless. Prep out.